самой мудрой книги человечества – Библии, о самых сложных проблемах, стоящих перед современным миром. Присылайте ваши вопросы заранее на наш email info@rusa.fm или во время передачи по СМС 347 460 08 77.
Добрый день всем, кто настроен сейчас на радио USA. В эфире самая светлая, самая мудрая передача, которая существует на нашем радио. Thank God It's Tuesday с раввином Манисом Фридманом. И каждую неделю мы с ним обсуждаем такие очень насущные темы со стороны древней мудрости, со стороны Торы и со стороны такого знающего и мудрого человека, как он. Это просто прекрасно нам немножко делает какой-то свет в конце туннеля, дает нам понимание того, где мы, что мы и к чему надо стремиться. И сегодняшний разговор, который я хочу с ним поднять, это AI, искусственный интеллект. Является ли он благословением или, даже не хочу говорить, но наоборот. Вот что это такое, как к этому относиться, многих это пугает, а многие с большой радостью пользуются всем, что предлагает нам новые технологии. Вот с этим вопросом уже прямо сейчас, не теряя времени, обращаюсь к раввину Манису Фридману. Rabbi Manis Friedman, hello, thank God it's Tuesday. Amazing to have another opportunity to speak to you about things that are on everybody's mind. And what is on everybody's mind nowadays is artificial intelligence. Is it a blessing or a curse? Is it something that we should worry about or something we should embrace and be excited about? Is it possibly maybe even something that is ushering the era of Moshiach, because in some cases it seems like it's doing what our prophecies are telling us will happen during the era of Moshiach. So basically the big question is AI a blessing or a curse?
Is the internet a blessing or a curse? Yeah, exactly. It's like everything else. It is great progress. It's definitely going to be very, very helpful in very exciting ways. And then it'll have its flaws like everything else. We don't need to exaggerate the significance or the importance. Yes, it's going to be very important. I can't imagine life without the internet. Is it everything? Did it solve all our problems? Not really. So artificial intelligence is going to be very useful. Very. It's not going to solve all our problems. It's also going to create all our problems that we can do without artificial intelligence.
There's a lot of questions. The internet is kind of limited. It can only do certain things. Artificial intelligence is a lot more spread out in its capabilities. And yet neither internet is regulated. And if we cannot regulate the internet to be ethical and to have moral codes that we need to live our lives by, who said that we have any kind of control over artificial intelligence? And that presents a little bit of a very scary.
Look, every step in progress, every step brought some dangers. When they invented the wheel, oh, how many people are going to get run over? Yeah, that's true. But we had the same, I remember having the same question about the internet. There were people who felt that the internet will change everything. Everything. It's always an exaggeration. So remember that joke about this guy who tells his grandmother, the internet You can ask any question and they'll give you an answer. I mean, artificial intelligence will be even more. But ask any question you ask, the internet will answer you. And the grandmother says, no, that can't be. And the grandson says, yes, it's going to answer every question. So the grandmother says, really? Let me ask a question. How does Aunt Sarah feel this morning? Okay, it can't answer all those questions. It can't do the human part. Artificial intelligence will not do the human part. Now we have an interesting challenge. What is the human part that artificial intelligence could never do? It's going to make us understand ourselves better and appreciate the human condition better. Will it bring problems and dangers like the car and the airplane and nuclear power? But if we're afraid of progress, we're not thinking straight.
Rabbi Friedman, it's not even so. I understand there's a lot of things, but for instance, I know you had an interview with ChatGPT, where the chat box was asking you all kind of questions about Judaism. How about the reverse? Can the ChatGPT replace rabbis, since it's pretty easy? It can possibly know laws. Is it a possibility?
Yes and no. It can know laws, but the application of law demands wisdom. Artificial intelligence will not have that wisdom.
What about the confusion? We live in a world of confusion, where everything is so. The truth is very muffled. We don't really know what the truth is, and AI can actually superimpose images, voiceovers, and create even more confusion and even more distort the truth even more, basically. How do we filter it out? How do we live with that? I mean, confusion is very confusing as is.
It's a problem. But that's going to be the misuse. Remember when they invented the telephone?
Mm-hmm.
People were very concerned because somebody could call you up and claim to be someone he's not. The telephone makes it so easy to lie and pretend because you don't see who you're talking to. So there were people who refused to use the telephone. Not smart. Then the internet. Oh, how many lies can you say online? How much can you distort the truth online? Oh, a lot better and much bigger scale than ever before. So the lies can be bigger, but then of course the information and the truth can be bigger too. So that's what progress means.
There was an interesting conversation on YouTube between Elon Musk, Benjamin Netanyahu, and two more gentlemen. One was the professor from MIT, can't remember his name, and the other one is actually the inventor of GPT. So, and the conversation was about the safety of internet. basically, they all voiced concern about the future. And Elon Musk actually took that very interesting position because the big conversation was about employment. I mean, if AI will replace people in the workforce, what is going to happen? And it was Elon Musk who actually sort of led the conversations towards the fact that people really want to be working at this point in their lives. Maybe this is a good thing, and this is one of the things that is something that we expect to happen during the era of Moshiach, that we won't have to work anymore, and that's why I kind of started thinking in this conversation, in this direction rather. Is it possible that the Mashiach will be coming into our lives through the artificial intelligence?
When Moshiach comes, it'll be through everything. So, what's going to happen? And it always happens. You invent something really drastically, radically new, your lifestyle adjusts. I remember the excitement when we invented the dishwashing machine and the advertisements that were so exciting. I'm washing my dishes sitting here on the couch. We now have more free time. Well, now all of a sudden we're afraid of free time? So yeah, AI will give us a lot more free time. We'll figure out what more important activities we can get involved with, and we will adjust our lives. Don't we believe in evolution? We're going to evolve, not suffer. So how much change will AI bring? Oh, I don't know. Let's find out. It's exciting.
But what if there, I mean, everything is about money. And what if those who are super competitive will start using it again as a tyrannical tool? And now we're in this realm where it's, this is a very serious tool. This is a tool that can make it or break it. I mean, and isn't that scary? Because it can dominate the world completely.
More than nuclear weapons that are plenty scary.
Yeah.
We're human beings. We have natural intelligence, which the AI will never replace. Will the AI police itself, since it's so intelligent? No, we can't stop progress because we're afraid of it. We will always be the moral voice, the moral soul of the world. And if something is immoral, we'll do something about it. I mean, we got to believe that.
But how do we bring morality into artificial intelligence? This is nothing that we have encountered. I mean, is there answers to this in the Torah as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, it's... In the olden days, people had mystical, magical, sometimes fake ways of getting information. Consulting the dead, getting information from angels, from whatever. We had access to artificial information. Sometimes it was very holy. It didn't replace natural intelligence. And it won't this time either. So it's a lot of hype. And that, that usually comes with a new invention. But we get to know it a little better. We'll find its limits. We'll find where it works and where it doesn't, what it's good for and what it's not. It's not going to be everything. That's idol worship.
Rabbi Fridman, but what about privacy? It definitely takes away privacy. I mean, any step we make, anything we purchase, anything we look up, it's out there. And with certain devices, even we're being heard. And that's, of course, is a fact. And how can we be sure that this is going to be used ethically, that our privacy... Do we need privacy? That's actually the big question. Is it important?
There is a virtue to privacy aside from guilt. Like, you don't want to be caught doing sins or misbehaving. So yeah, we're gonna have to behave. We're gonna have to be a little more careful with what we do and say, which is not a bad thing. And we've always known, we've always taught our children, there is an eye that sees and an ear that hears. Well, we weren't talking about a machine, but the concept was there. So be on your best behavior because there's an eye that is watching and an ear that is listening. That's not a terrible thing. So if you're ashamed of what you're doing, stop doing it. It'll be all over the internet.
Rabbi Friedman, but it was all over the place, and saying that our information is being sold and for political use, for commercial use, for all kind of use that basically none of us gave any permission to use. And
yeah, we'll find ways of protecting ourselves. We are the creators of artificial intelligence. We're the creator. See, this is typical idolatry. You create something and then claim that it is your creator. We're creating it. We will be able to harness it. It'll take some work, some ingenuity. But if we can create it, we can control it. You know that silly question people used to ask? Can God create a stone that he can't pick up? Can we create a technology that we can't control? No. If we're the creator, then we can control it. If we want to. Problem is with those who don't want to. Well, they've been a problem all along. Those people got to go anyway.
Rabbi Friedman, speaking of creativity, GPT is actually a creative AI. It writes poetry. It can write novels. It can channel sort of some experiences and so basically, can it replace creativity in humans? And of course, how will, I mean, it's a little scary. I've used it, and if I want to write, I don't know, some kind of a proposal, it's a lot better versed than I am, and it puts things together pretty well. So, will it affect our self-esteem? And are we going to continue to be creative if we're so easily replaced with this?
We are creative by nature, and that is not going to change. It'll challenge us to be more creative than we ever thought, and we will. We'll come up with it. But it's like having a really, really good secretary. who can do everything better than you, except take responsibility. The secretary does not take responsibility for the company. You're responsible for the company. And if you have an electronic secretary who can do all the work for you, you've just replaced a secretary, a function, not human beings. So the secretary will go on to do a more sophisticated job, which the AI cannot do.
What about Neuralink? A little bit longer than a week ago, about 7-8 days, the first Neuralink was placed in a human brain. And also, this is a little bit confusing. I mean, initially, as far as Elon Musk says, it is to connect us to computers so we can speed up the process of receiving information. And basically, it's almost like telepathy. He kind of compared us to rocks in comparison to computers. So a rock to a human is like a human to a computer, is what he said. So, I'm so sorry. No, excuse me. A tree to a human is like a human to a computer. In other words, tree also communicates, but in comparison to a human, it's so slow. So we are, in comparison to computers, are extremely slow. So this Neuralink is supposed to really speed up the process of how we input information and receive information. So that was the reason. The FDA did not approve it until it had a more important use, such as help humans medically and have like a little higher standard. So not just for us to become superhumans, but maybe to help us along with some medical issues. So what is your position on the Neuralink? Do you think this is something that should be used only for medical purposes, or is it something that is okay to enhance our state in this world and become more susceptible to information?
Well, I wonder what that would do to a person. I wouldn't be the first to volunteer. What will that do to a person? That put your brain on steroids. What happens to the human being? What is the name for people who are brilliant but not normal?
Geniuses? No.
Savants?
Oh, idiot savants, yes.
Idiot savant?
I think so.
Are we all going to become like that? We'll be able to memorize serial codes on dollar bills, but not know how to talk to people? I don't see how being faster makes you more of a mensch. I mean, if you could run 10 times as fast, what would that accomplish? So you could have a race with a deer? What's the accomplishment? Where's the progress here? If you could jump higher than... What is the progress? In other words, do we need to be faster in our thinking? Is that useful? And for what? To be able to play chess better? Yeah, but your opponent will also have a chip in his brain. Will also play better. So what's the difference? We're looking at insignificant things and getting all excited about it, and that's a sign of a lack of wisdom. AI will not bring wisdom. So let's not get too excited. Like anytime you have to make a decision, You gather the information, the facts and the figures and the numbers, and then you have to make a decision. AI cannot make a decision. It'll gather the information for you much faster, much more thorough, much more impressively, and it'll give you all the numbers and all the information and all the data. Then you have to make a decision. AI will make decisions. We're going to be in big trouble.
Rabbi Friedman, if we're so creative in connecting ourselves to machines, artificial intelligence, can we come up with something that connects us to the actual intelligence, to God? Is there some sort of machinery that can help us along in that process?
Yeah. Our sages have more information and more wisdom than AI. Study what they taught, study what they shared. That's the way to a better world. AI may increase our economy, it may increase our output. It won't improve the quality of life. That we have to do.
So you're saying that we should not be afraid of those little robots that are already roaming the streets in the form of police dogs. They're already somewhere in Europe, I don't know, read about it, with the little machine guns on their backs. How can we be so sure that they're not going to malfunction? I mean, we saw so many movies that tell us otherwise, that at some point something goes wrong. Even this recent movie that was produced by former President Obama, I don't remember the name of it, but in that movie, Tesla went insane, and all the Teslas just started driving on their own without drivers, and created a chaos and havoc just like that. I mean,
that's a real risk. I wouldn't want dog police, robot police, in any form. I think in many ways police are already too robotic. They're not allowed to think for themselves.
But the humans are becoming, the robots are becoming more human as well. What does that mean? They're already being taught to feel and have human emotions. Is that at all a possibility?
No. They're not going to have human emotions. They're going to have technical emotions, virtual emotions. It's ridiculous to say they have human emotions when they're not human. So no, they're not. And yet there's that danger that the machine goes berserk. But not by free will, just malfunction. So the AI will never have free will. It will get its wires crossed and go berserk. But that's just malfunction.
How do we integrate AI into our service to God? Is there a combination that is actually possible here?
I think the process of history, if I'm not mistaken, we used to be very mechanical. We had to make fire. We had to invent wheels. We had to fight the elements and the wild animals. Life was very technical. You work hard, and at the end of the day, you have what to eat, you're a success. I think we grew beyond that. Sure, we still have to make a living, and we still have to have what to eat. But we have so much bigger concerns. This will move us a giant step further. The dishwasher, the dishwashing machine, gave us a lot of free time. All of technology has given us more free time. But what do we use it for? For entertainment? That's going backwards. If we have more free time, then we should develop our more human qualities rather than our technological qualities, our functional qualities. So we have to become more humane, because the AI is going to do all the practical work. We're going to have to focus our talents on something higher, better, more noble. So you won't have to learn reading, writing, and arithmetic, because the AI will do that. So what are you going to spend your time on? Maybe a little more Torah? Maybe get to know God a little better? Be more loyal, be more devoted, be more sensitive, be more understanding? None of that will come from AI. So let AI take over all the technical work, and we will devote ourselves to nobler things, to higher things, to more meaningful things. Making a living has never been meaningful. It's just a necessary evil. So good riddance.
That sounds like good news. The only thing that still sounds a little scary from that conversation than Elon Musk and Benjamin Netanyahu and a few others had is that who's going to be deciding the ethics of artificial intelligence? Because their big conversation was that someone has to, and they're the inventors. So they invented it, but who's gonna decide what ethical use of it is and what's not?
Shocking realization. People are going to have to be ethical without enforcing. Maybe that's what it'll push us to do. It'll do all the work. We'll figure out what's right and wrong. The average person. Without some authority telling us how and when we can use artificial intelligence. That's basically Moshiacha.
Exactly. That's why this is why this thought has crossed my mind, that from whatever we learn about the coming of Mashiach, everything that is AI could possibly aid us with kind of starts us on that path.
So let's put it in dramatic terms. AI will do all the things for us that we really shouldn't be busy with. That's good news.
Yeah.
We should never have been busy with these things. Now we'll do what we were really created to do. And build pyramids.
Rabbi Fridman, amazing. So all the scary and worrisome things that people have when they think about how they're going to be replaced, how their privacy is going to be taken away, how this can be all used for unethical and tyrannic purposes. You say, don't worry about any of that?
From a Torah perspective, I wouldn't worry about it. But it's embarrassing that people who believe in evolution are terrified of evolution. We're growing, we're developing, we're changing. You don't want? Well, then you got to get off this planet.
No, we're not going to do that. And hopefully we're not going to be pushed off either and not replaced by machines. Rabbi Fridman, amazing. Thank you. This is definitely a very interesting topic to discuss. Actually, believe it or not, it was requested by our listeners. And I'm sure this is just the beginning of this conversation, because this is something that is developing and is definitely evolving in our lifetime in front of our eyes. And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of questions and a lot of things to say about it and to ask about it. So thank you so much.
The bottom line is, bring it on.
Thank you very much for the words of wisdom and for the words of encouragement. This is the most valuable hour on our radio, and we can't thank you enough for it. Rabbi Fridman, thank you so much, and hopefully it's only good news, because it is with you. So thank you for bringing it on. Thank you for the good news, and hopefully you will be able to keep this good news going. Thank you so much, and hopefully until next week with a lot more good news. Thank you so much. Ну, а всех, кто нас слушал, большое вам спасибо. Спасибо, что вы проводите это время с нами в передаче Thank God It's Tuesday с раввином Манисом Фридманом. Если у вас есть вопросы, кстати, пожалуйста, присылайте info@rosa.fm. Вот эту передачу заказал один из наших слушателей. Мы с удовольствием для него ее раскрыли, хотя бы начали этот разговор. Так что наверняка у вас есть тоже какие-то свои идеи, которые вы бы хотели поднять, и мы будем прислушиваться к вам. Так что info@rusa.fm. Вот с этими словами я, Аня Пекерман, передача Thank God It's Tuesday. Прощаемся со всеми до следующей недели и только хороших новостей. Всем.
Каждый вторник в 12:10 один из самых известных раввинов нашего времени, Манис Фридман, в прямом эфире отвечает на вопросы о проблемах, стоящих перед современным миром. Присылайте ваши вопросы заранее на наш имейл info@rosa.fm или во время передачи по СМС 347 460 08 77.